We are here. It is championship week. Everything led up to this week. Now, let's go ahead, hop into it. Blake Corum kicks off our waiver wire running backs. 5 touchdowns over the last 4 weeks. Easy opponent in the Falcons this week, and he's clearly the best running back pickup of the week. Now, Michael Carter, he gets to play one of the easiest matchups for running backs in Cincinnati. As expected, Carter was the main ball carrier for the Cardinals, and it's the highest over-under of the week at 53.5 points. Now, Chris Rodriguez, another running back with an easy matchup, gets to play Dallas in a 50.5 over-under. He found the end zone late in last week's game in garbage time, but he's the main ball carrier as well. And Raheem Sanders, now, he is a rookie running back for the Cleveland Browns. Quinshon Judkins is out for the season with a leg injury. Now, I will say, much like Chris Rodriguez, you should expect them both to get most of the work on the ground. Now, the volume should be there, but will the points? Vegas right now is suggesting that this is a 33.5 point over-under. No, probably not. And Emmanuel Wilson, now he's not going to be at the top of this list because we do not know the status of Josh Jacobs, but if Josh Jacobs is out, or if you are the manager of Josh Jacobs, he should probably be at the top of your list. Now, the wide receivers this week aren't the prettiest, but here are some guys who are going to have some opportunities. Starting off with Alec Pierce. Not sure we can 100% trust Phillip Rivers, but Pierce is coming off his best game of his career. It's against the Jaguars, which we know that you can score on them through the air, plus we know that they're going to put up points, so it's not a bad situation to be in. Parker Washington on the other side of the ball, also coming off a career game. Basically the same situation, but a much, much better quarterback situation. Trevor Lawrence has 2 or more touchdowns since Week 11, and he has 10 touchdowns in the last 2 games. Now, Pierce and Washington, they are the 2 main wide receivers, but the rest, they're significantly sketchier. Kendrick Bourne could be a good start if George Kittle is out. Adonai Mitchell has been the main target for the Jets. Not excited to play against the Patriots, but volume is volume. And Mac Hollins could be elevated to a larger starting role if Kayshon Boutte misses Week 17 with a concussion. Now let's look at some streaming tight ends for Week 17. Brenton Strange comes out at the top for me. Came through in an exploitable matchup versus Denver. Now, much like them, the Colts, they can be attacked by the tight end position. And again, most importantly, we want to have players that are attached to Trevor Lawrence right now. Taysom Hill, if you do not have Trey McBride, Brock Bowers, one of the elite tight ends, Taysom Hill could be a sneaky start for you. He became the first player in NFL history to record 1,000 passing yards, 1,000 rushing yards, and 1,000 receiving yards in a career. Now, we were much torn all last week. Is it Audric Estime? And if so, how reliable is that play going to be? Is it going to be sketchy? Is it going to be Evan Hull as the other running back there in the mix? Turns out it was Taysom Hill all along. Carried the ball 12 times. Estime and Hull only carried the ball 5 times each. And Hill also threw a 38-yard touchdown and had 4 receptions for 36 yards. He's a sneaky high-end play at the tight end position. And I made a video last week about Darren Waller, and it got a ton of views. And honestly, rightfully so. There were a ton of people who had plenty of questions on him because of the benching of the quarterback. No more Tua. Now it's going to be Quinn Ewers. Also, the matchup. The matchup is great. Now, while Ewers wasn't the answer for Waller in Week 16, if we do see him throw for another 260 yards, Waller could be an appealing start. A.J. Barner, he's playing on the field all the time. He's coming off a game with a touchdown. The game is a 42.5 point over-under versus the Cardinals. Now, I'd expect that to be bet up. Now, Jake Tonjes, he is great and probably required if you are the George Kittle manager because the 49ers, they do not play until Sunday Night Football. So the good news is Tonjes was good earlier this season. Let's talk about some streaming quarterbacks. Got to start it off with Tyler Shuck versus Tennessee. Tennessee, they've allowed the second most fantasy points to quarterbacks over the last month, and Shuck, he's been the quarterback 16 or better in each of his last 4 matchups. Now, I'm not sure he has a high ceiling, but the floor seems to be very solid. And Marcus Mariota versus Dallas, this is assuming that Marcus Mariota plays. Quarterbacks, they can just turn it on against Dallas because Dallas allows the most fantasy points to quarterbacks. Justin Herbert did this just last week. After putting up 5 straight games of the quarterback 17 or worse, Herbert put up a quarterback 4 finish against the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Sam Darnold versus the Carolina Panthers. Some may forget that Sam Darnold was a Carolina Panther back in 2022, so this is his first chance at a revenge game. The Panthers have been top 10 against quarterbacks, so do keep that in mind. And Aaron Rodgers versus the Cleveland Browns. Now, if you want to avoid this completely because DK Metcalf is out, I totally understand that, but there are people who are playing in deeper leagues or maybe in dynasty leagues where they need to figure out if they can play a player or not. For what it's worth, Aaron Rodgers has been kind of hot lately. And again, much deeper leagues, but Phillip Rivers looked better, not great, in Week 16's Monday Night Football versus the 49ers. And here are some great defensive streaming options that you've got here in Fantasy Football Championship Week. All of these defenses are playing rookie quarterbacks for the most part, which is something you always want to try and take advantage of. Brady Cook, Mac Brosmer, Cam Ward, Quinn Ewers, doesn't matter. Typically, they're throwing for fewer yards and touchdowns while also giving you an opportunity for a pick six because they're turning the ball over more often than not. Now, in that same vein, you do have Phillip Rivers. While there's 4 rookie quarterbacks you're playing against a 44-year-old Phillip Rivers as well. Almost the same age as Cam Ward and Quinn Ewers combined. Now, I thought he looked better in his second week starting, and his mind is still totally there, but I'm not sure he possesses the physical tools to actually get it done against the Jaguars, who also are second in the league for most takeaways per game. Now, this is the final week that I'm doing waiver wire pickups for the 2025 season. I appreciate you all for coming along during the ride. It's been a lot of fun. Make sure you are subscribed and turn on notifications so you know when I go live or I post new videos. I'll be doing my flex rankings video. It'll be the final one. It comes out on Wednesday. And of course, you can always check my bio for my weekly rankings. I'll also be going live on Tuesday, Wednesday, and either Friday or Saturday of this week. But be sure to subscribe again so you don't miss out on that. I'll be putting out 2026 NFL rookie and dynasty content in the offseason, so stay tuned for that. Also, good luck in your matchups. You've got this.